Chesebro's attorney says he doesn't expect his client to take the stand against Trump. I want you to take a listen to what he told my colleague Katie Phang earlier today.
Someone asked me earlier, if you were Donald Trump, would you be worried? And I could personally, honestly answer no. And it's not that Mr. Chesebro is trying to protect Donald Trump or anyone else. I personally do not believe the state will call him to testify on their behalf.
Chris, your thoughts?
Well, he knows, and the prosecutor knows what Chesebro is going to say. I don't put a whole lot of faith in what might be posturing or signaling to Donald Trump. But what is clear is that the prosecutors now have a lawyer who has admitted under oath that he committed crimes in furtherance of conspiracy in which they've also alleged Donald Trump was a part. That in and of itself is pretty powerful. And if Kenneth Chesebro gets on the stand and the first thing he's going to have to admit is he stood in a Georgia courtroom, pled guilty to a felony as a lawyer relating to the submission of these false elector slates. And the next question is, did Donald Trump know that that's what you were up to? That's compelling testimony. He may not break the case wide open. And as we know, Donald Trump is alleged to have engaged in a number of elements of this conspiracy. But those facts alone are pretty damning and I think would make Donald Trump uncomfortable if he's sitting at the defense table.
Chris, I need not remind you, Chesebro, Powell, they were also mentioned in Trump's federal election indictment. I wonder, based on what we saw here, how they might end up helping the special counsel.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me at all if their lawyers have had conversations with the special counsel. I mean, pleading guilty in Georgia does create some risk for them in connection with the federal case. And I suspect that they're making themselves available as witnesses to Jack Smith as well. Hard to know what those behind the scenes discussions may be and whether or not Jack Smith feels like he would need them to prove his case. But certainly, Donald Trump's lawyers are asking themselves, hey, do we now need to contend with these witnesses in the trial that's coming up fairly quickly in April?
Chris, while I have you, I just want to ask you about Trump's New York fraud trial. The judge fined Trump $5,000 for violating his gag order. Why start there as a warning? Well,
I think just like Judge Chutkan in D.C. has been struggling with this, how do you enforce protective orders and gag orders against somebody who has shown no willingness to abide by them? There are consequences associated with putting Trump in jail that both of these judges probably want to avoid. And so they're starting in the New York judge's case at $5,000 as a signal that they are willing, that this New York judge is willing to impose penalties for the gag order, and Trump can expect them to escalate should he continue this behavior. The whole idea here is to deter Trump from doing what he's done, which in this case was really, very, very cruel, to basically put a photograph of a courtroom employee up on the internet for his followers to go after. And so I think the judge is showing that he's taking it seriously, and we'll see whether or not those fines need to escalate in order to prevent Trump from doing this type of thing.